When Lorenzo O'Brien and Rudy Wurlitzer and I planned to do Walker, our original intention was to have it be a popular film. Amazing as this may seem, we thought that it could have a wide popular appeal by containing violent action, sex, jokes, and that we might be able to create a film that was something like a subversive Blazing Saddles for the general audience. That was our desire. When Universal saw the film, Universal had financed it, they decided that it wasn't a film for the broad general audience, it was a film for a minority audience, an art film, which can be the kiss of death to any film that doesn't have sufficient support and sufficient enthusiasm when it first opens. An art film plays in a handful of small cinemas and really depends on word of mouth from the audience on that first weekend, but also depends on the critics, depends on good reviews, because that's how the audience finds its way to those movies. You know what I've got here? I've got the reviews of Walker. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read my reviews, because that's what the director never gets to do. And we'll see what... Bite them! Bite them! The first reviews that we saw were two. There was one in Time magazine and one in the New York Times, and they were both good. New York Times was Vincent Canby, and he wrote, "Walker is something very rare in American movies these days. It has some nerve." So that was a great review, and we were very pleased about that. We thought, for a moment, oh boy, we've done it, we've got away with it, it's going to be okay. But after those first two reviews, everything in the American press, everything in the United States press was negative. Siskel and Ebert at the movies, Gene Siskel, Alex Cox, so exciting with his film Sid and Nancy, and so much too clever here. Women's Wear Daily. Cox is consumed by showing us how clever he thinks he is by telling his story in a humorously vulgar manner rather than straightforwardly. Broadcast excerpt, Eyewitness News. Isn't that clever? Well, it's not clever. A powerful telling story becomes propaganda so smart-aleck and heavy-handed it would make Joseph Stalin blush. Roger Ebert. Sid and Nancy it ain't. Indeed not. Hollywood Reporter. Ed Harris resembles more a puritanical dairy farmer than a mesmeric military leader. Well, that's all right, actually. I think that's quite good. I wouldn't mind Walker being a puritanical dairy farmer. That's a good note. Technical crew. Composer Joe Strummer for some silly musical cacophonies. Duane Byrdge writing about Strummer's music, and it makes you wonder if they've actually heard the music, because I don't think, I mean, it's one of the most extraordinary film scores. It's right up there with Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, is it not? How could they write that about Strummer's score? As if they hadn't seen the film. Walker dramatizes bizarre historical exploit gone awry. Michael Wilmington, LA Times, blood squirting, doesn't like blood squirting. WCBS, Jeffrey Lyons, the movie which supposedly depicts the genesis of American involvement in Nicaragua, which of course continues today, takes an obvious political stand when it might have been far more effective taking the middle road and remaining objective. A patent propaganda effort, so sloppy and offensive, it could win converts for the other side. Jay Hoberman, Hell is for Heroes, Village Voice. If Mel Brooks had directed Wurlitzer's script and Cox directed the anti-Star Wars Spaceballs, they might have produced the political double bill of the decade. But I think it's an interesting idea. I mean, I think Mel Brooks would have made a very good version of Walker had he wished to do so. Very good, very interesting indeed. What is this? Deborah J. Kunk, Los Angeles Herald Examiner. Cox perhaps has a point to make, but that's not what comes across. Only the insolence of someone who refuses to play by the rules. Newsday. Ludicrous, says Mike McGrady. Heavy-handed propagandizing. Blood spurting, doesn't like blood spurting either. Blood spurting, doesn't like that. Heavy-handed. overly exaggerated blood spurting. It's not really very amusing. The prolonged blood spurting. Doesn't like the blood spurting either. Bodies explode with blood. Laziest kind of filmmaking. Bodies explode with blood in slow motion. Amateurish junk. Blood spurting. And the Sandinistas, they add to their questionable reputation by being revealed as the world's worst judge of movies. But wait. From the Los Angeles Sentinel, January 7th, 1988, the 10 best pictures. Walker, a film about US imperialism disguised as a film about William Walker, the American soldier of fortune who invaded Nicaragua in 1855 and declared himself president. True story. Great film, in spite of what the other critics have said. Alan Bell, Sentinel film critic. Yeah, I like that. That's not going in the fire.